What's up everybody? Welcome to another video on Khaldor TV, more Heroes of the Storm, and I have a pretty cool game for you. Cursed Hollow is the map for the best of one match between Team Aurora and Team Dignitas. A lot of you might not really know Team Aurora, and I don't blame you for that, because, well, when you look at the players, then it's a different story. You will suddenly realize that you recognize a lot of these names. And, well, Dignitas, you should know them by now. Dignitas has been playing Infinite Crisis and Heroes of the Storm for quite some time, but now they've been switching over full-time to Heroes of the Storm and trying to run with that. And they go up against a team of players that have been playing for various teams out there and formed up for the tournament here. And they, of course, won nothing else but victory, because they are experienced, they know what they're doing, they are extremely strong, and they might be able to surprise one team or another, especially if you don't really aware what you're up for, what you're in for. So in this particular scenario, we're going to jump into the game. We're going to try and find out who's going to take it here. Will it be Dignitas with their rise to the top, or is it going to be Team Aurora proving that they are strong enough to take on any team in this lineup?
Game on! Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Cursed Hollow again here at the GO4Heroes Tournament, and it is Team Dignitas versus Aurora on Cursed Hollow, with Chris on Stitches to the left side for Team Dignitas, Blood Dragon for ETC, Sailors, the man famous for his owls, today on her Sergeant Hammer, Nurok on a Zebo, and Linked on Rhaegar. To the right side of the map it is Team Aurora, a team newly formed by several players that you might recognize from other teams. Vontil on Uther, Alistair on Valat, Escape on Tyrande, Mopsio on Diablo, and Guccio on Tacita. So this is going to be a pretty fun match, I suppose, because we had some very interesting comps happening here. And one of the things that I personally found quite amazing is that as the second tank, Dignitas on their last pick chose ETC over Diablo. Personally, I would have expected Diablo, and why is that? For a very simple reason. We see them play with a Nazebo here. Nazebo, of course, would like to go for the Ravenous Spirit as his heroic ability. But if you have a Diablo against you, then he can easily just counter you with him using Apocalypse as his ult. In this case, you can always play with either Uther or Brightwing and try to use Cleanse to negate that. But the problem that they had is that Dignitas chose early on already to go straight into Rhaegar being played by Link up at the top lane with the tri-lane that they're running here. And so with that happening, the only choice that they had was pick the Diablo away from their opponents, and they didn't do that. Instead, they went straight for ETC, which is a great synergy comp with Stitches, since you can hook in and then always use Face Melt and Power Slide to keep a target in place and lock it down for a bit longer to make sure that it doesn't get away. But at the same time, of course, it's also a bit of an interesting situation regarding the heroic ability from Nazebo that you rely upon quite a bit. So the choices for Dignitas here are to play with Gary the Gargantuan, or they can just simply say, well, we don't care too much about you stunning out the Nazebo, so just like go ahead and do your worst. But we are of course not there just yet. Nurok at the top lane is being attacked, and that's the healing ward from Link. Great saves from Rhaegar so far, but now Alistair is moving into, it's a full rotation from the mid lane. Very well done here by Aurora. Of course, they lose a few experience points in the mid lane, not too much though. Just one or two creeps that have been taken out that didn't give any experience to them. So the kill in itself was not really worth it. Well, I should put it probably into different words. The kill itself was, of course, always worth it, since you put a lot of pressure on your opponent, but they didn't really gain an advantage with the kill, because there are still heroes on the lane that are able to just farm the experience while the hero is gone. You put pressure on your opponent, which is always great, but they didn't really get an experience lead through that, as you can already see. Like, those experience bars are pretty much the same depending on which creep wave is currently being killed, and that is because Vala rotating to the top missed out on a couple of creeps, and that made up for the experience that the hero kill itself gave them. We have level 4 already, slam build on Stitches. Oh, Nazebo actually taken out and over there. Up to the top we're having a fight. Linked is moving in. They were trying to get that camp, but we have Aurora stealing that as well. Very nice moves by them. A 4-man rotation towards that camp. 2 minutes into the game you will see a lot of teams trying to steal a Siege Giant camp immediately. In this case, Aurora was ready for it. It took that, and of course, not only does it put pressure onto the wall, but it also moves the entire team left side. Experience lead now taken, and that's a lot of EXP that they are missing here, by the way. Finally the experience is coming in, and Sailors is going to take it. But that was a pretty sick move that we saw there from Aurora. They're having a great start into this game. I really like that. In terms of talents, we're having now also double healing ward for them. with Diablo going for amplified healing. Stitches is still sticking with his build that he chose earlier, going straight for slam. And for the additional damage, of course. We're having poison taken. Look at that. And venom on Nazebo instead of gathering power. Especially on Nazebo, a lot of teams are starting to move away from gathering power and instead go for different ones. Blood Dragon is power sliding his way, or is trying to. Oh, that's bad news. And he dies. I think if he would have waited with that power slide a bit longer and used that face melt to push Diablo away, he might have survived there. But as is, not only is he dead, but at the same time, all of those creeps that are being attacked by towers, well, ammunition is now down, but still, don't end up in the hands of Dignitas. And Dignitas is actually struggling hard here. An early boss attempt also now from Team Aurora. Oh my god, they are getting cheeky here. They are getting extremely cheeky. At the top lane, there's a 3-man push against the wall, taking that at least down. But over here, will the boss end up in their hands? Chris, he sees it, but what can he do about it? Blood Dragon tries to move in now as well. Oh, Alistar is so low, they're going for boss. But Stitches dies, and it's at the end of the day still a 4 versus 2, and you just can't win that, even with the boss already preparing the damage. So suddenly it's boss against them. It's 7 versus 9 in levels. There is already toxic gas taken, but a good stun out there. Blood Dragon moves away in the last sec. They're trying to at least get the tribute, but it's not that easy for them, as at the top lane, Sailors and Montill are still going up against each other. We're having double battle momentum now taken on Mopsio and on Vala. So Diablo and Vala going for it with a cleanse on Uther. And as you can see, in this case, it's Guitar Hero, Echo Paddle. We're having Clairvoyance over Gitbin on Nazebo, giving even more vision. It's a bit surprising that they would use that, considering that they already have Farsight available. So that's a bit of a surprise. The bot lane taken. We're having, in this case, the fort claimed. And up at the top, there is another boss that is being attacked. Vision is granted, but they can't really do anything about it. They themselves start with a hard camp here, trying to get this one. And as you can already see, there's Apocalypse taken. So with that knowledge, Nurok can now go for Gary if he wants to, and go for the Gargantuan here instead of Ravenous Spirit, because he should not be able to get his ult completely through his entire duration in any of those fights. Not with Diablo just waiting for that to happen and using it. So we're gonna see how this is gonna work out for them. Sailors up at the top lane is trying to deep-push against the boss. Talent's coming in, and what is Nurok gonna get? Putrid Bile is already chosen, Napalm Strike is there. There is Stage Dive and Ancestral Healing. And what's it going to be? Is it going to be the Ravenous Spirit after all, or are we going to see Gary? At the bottom lane, it is Mopsio with Blood Dragon. We're having hard camps taken for both of the teams. One is nearly taken out now. Tribute is once again there. Chris waiting for a hook that he can use. Nurok still without his ult. Still without his ult. What's it gonna be? Ravenous Spirit against the Apocalypse? Or are we gonna see Gary trying to do Gargantuan things here? Chris not getting that tribute. Nope, they all want to fight for that. ETC is, by the way, not with the team, but he has Stage Dive that he can use. And it is Gary! Gary being chosen by Team Dignitas. They're going for it. They're trying to use him here. Blood Dragon is already in position, but he's a bit split from the team and suddenly has to run. They're trying to go for another hook as Starfall is being used. Chris moves in with his Putrid Bile. Where's Gary? Gary! Gary already in action. Apocalypse being used. Nurok moving away in the last second. But oh my god, is Aurora low. The problem is they are not the ones dying here, because Stitches is the first one to go down. Link dies as well. And even with Mopsio and Montill this low, it just doesn't matter. There comes Sailors trying to get that kill finally. Alistar is contesting him, but 2 levels ahead now with 10 or 11 versus 12 in just a few seconds. Blood Dragon is trying to move in there. We have Sailors stalling everything out with his napalm. Stitches is on his way back, as is Rhaegar. They're trying to push them away, and they're doing quite a lot of damage here. Even Montill that moved in again and healed Guccio will not be able to make up for all of that DPS. It's just too much of a cooldown that we are seeing on his heal. Blood Dragon moves away. The hook is hitting the owl, missing just by an inch. And Mopsio down here just way too low. They got the kills, they have the 13, but they are not getting the tribute. They are not going to be able to curse Dignitas here. Gary doing his thing, of course, during the last fight as well, but so far The Nazebo damage, as you can see, is up at 11,000, which is not something to write home about. You're not going to tell your mom about that one. You're going to wait a bit longer until there's really a number high enough on the board to impress her, so that you get that cake that you always wanted when you visit once again. For now, we're having, in regards to damage, still Sergeant Hammer taking the crown, and Vala as a close second with a 15,000. Looking at the 13 talents, we have Sprint taken on Uther. There's of course Frost Shot and Vala, considering the multi-shot build that she's been going for throughout the entire game. With Aura taken on level 7, we're also now having Lunar Blaze taken by Tyrande. For Diablo, it's Crippling Shadows, and we're having the Distortion Beam on Tacita, which is something that we see every now and then over the Shrink Ray. Looking at the Tribute at the top, that's another one that they have to fight for. Problematic, since they don't have the 13 talent. Dignitas, of course, that is. They kind of need to fight for it if they really want to make sure that it's not going to be a curse against them, and ETC was trying to get enough experience to give them that additional talent, but right now they're still waiting for it, and let's face it, without that talent you don't want to fight. Frost Shot, Lunar Blaze, all of that just gives your opponent too big of an advantage. So they take the curse, they accept it, they welcome it, and have now to deal with it somehow. And that means usually that you lose a few of your structures and your opponent is going to solidify the lead in experience and levels that he already has. They're aiming for the boss at the bot lane. They might actually be able to sneak this one in, as long as the... they should be able to get that. The problem is that, of course, the next goal of Aurora is going to be the... well, Gary tanking the damage like a boss. Gary! Oh god, he's dying again. Gary the Gargantuan doing what he can, helping out with the boss taken at the bot lane. They're moving back, all of them, and they are of course trying to save the keep. They need to somehow make this happen now. They have the 13 talents with the double relentless on the 2 tanks. We are seeing no slam build actually on the 13, maybe on 16, but he's not going for Mega Slam. Interesting choice here, but I guess with all of the stun that we're having, with all the lockdown, he wants to make sure that this is not going to happen. I suppose we are going to see that Stitch's hook after all. At the bot lane, it is the boss starting to go ham and doing work, but at the same time, of course, another thing that is going to happen here is very, very fast level 16 arriving for the team to the right side. Aurora is a team newly founded by a lot of players that you have seen in other teams. Most of them discarded, and therefore they are trying to form a team that is able to contest with the best, and they are doing a very, very solid job against Team Dignitas so far. Dignitas with the moves on the map, and so far with 0 kills, 6 kills against them. And of course they kind of need to turn that around. If you're looking at the potential level 16, let's also talk about a potential level 20. Especially on level 20, we're going to have a lot of additional damage on the side of Nazebo, and also of course for Sergeant Hammer, him or her in particular. But we're also having the same issue for Tyrande and Vala, so on 20 I'm not quite sure if that's really going to be the level that's going to change things for them if they can survive that long. They need to win a team fight and they need to start taking a few heroes down. In the last fight, they were it was so close, like it was really close. I mean, they nearly took down 3 of the heroes, but they just barely survived, and they didn't get the chance. The problem is that, of course, especially Diablo, with all the souls that he has right now, has a huge hit point pool. I mean, that bad boy is up at 6,000. If you compare that to Chris, who's currently at 4,700, or to Blood Dragons ETC, who's at 4,400, you can really tell how much of a tank Diablo is, has become at that point. I mean, they are moving in with that for now. They're going straight for it over there. It's another attempt to hook somebody in. He goes still for Pulverize. Pulverize still taken. No fishing hook. The boss is nearly down, but so is the keep. It's on half health, and now they can move in, and they do. Oh, they're going straight for it, but the stun against Blood Dragon, he's getting healed. Oh, Mopsio with the stuns, but Diablo, he's down. Gary coming in as well. Stitch is dying too, though. They're trying to drop Von Till, and Uther, oh my god, don't tell me he's getting away. Holy crap. Nope, he's getting dropped by Sergeant Hammer. That would have been the escape of the century. Oh, and Blood Dragon still has his ult, and he wants Alistair. And he might get him here. The dog is rushing in, but oh my god, that was good! Vala realizing that there's no chance to escape and instead turns around and takes down Rhaegar. Rhaegar not surviving this one. Tribute again on the map, one in the hands of the team in blue, but they need to somehow get their heroes back in again. Stitches of course is back in another 3 seconds. If they can stall that out, that would be great, but it doesn't really look like you will be able to. With Mopsio still in the game, they don't want to go up against Diablo once again. So far, not a single keep is down. It's 17 versus 17. 8 kills against 3. They're getting closer. They're getting a lot closer. 16 talents with the Ranger taken. I mean, obviously, since we have a level 1 Pierce, those 2 talents just go together. We're having Diablo going for Firestorm, and at the same time, it's Blood for Blood, Imposing Presence, and Second Strike on Tacita. Looking at the 16 talents that we're seeing for their opponents, it is Blood for Blood on Rhaegar. We're having the specialized toxins on Azebo, Executioner, Stone Skin, and Pulverize. I mentioned that one earlier in the last fight. It's definitely awesome to have that mini stun in your arsenal. But of course, Fishing Hook is one of those playmaker talents that very few players really want to pass up upon if they don't take the Mega Slam on 13. In this case, though, he went for a bit of a hybrid build, since apparently Stitches was very worried about the stun, or the amount of stun that is coming out of Team Aurora. With Mopsio on his Diablo, with Tyrande and her stun, of course. Then again, we have also Rain of Vengeance used, and we see the escape with his stuns hitting pretty much every time on Tyrande. Up at the top, the split EXP again. He is trying to take that forward. Boss is going to come in another 30 seconds. Tribute is there. We're having bot lane taken, and in experience they should be able to. They should actually be able to catch up. Yeah, and they do. They take the 18 talent, or the 18 level, I should say, and ETC can still jump in anytime that he wants, but they let the tribute go. They say, alright, let them get the second one. We're getting into a good flow right now. We can fight the next fight. It's fine. Our 16 is strong enough. 16 talent, of course. So we can fight for boss or whatever we have to. Stitches will try and hook, and ETC is going to be ready for that stage dive. Something that we're going to see here. Oh, there we go. Chris moves already in, but he gets revealed by an owl. Mopsio is down there. It's really nice to see how the teams are currently like aiming for that boss and really just trying to zone out everybody. But there's the boss attempt, and immediately Dignitas is ready. They are immediately ready. Sergeant Hammer is a bit slow. Over there's ETC. He needs to jump in as well. They see what's going on, and here comes Stitches and Gary. Gary is going for the boss. Gary, that's the wrong direction. You need to go to the right, bro. Oh, Alistar is trying to move in there. The cleanse saving for now. Blood Dragon is there too. Nurok. Oh god, he just ran straight into that. Mopsio is very low, but Uther dies first, as well as Stitches and Azebo, who got taken out here. Linked is rushing away. Oh my god, like, Gary, why? Linked gets dropped, and suddenly it's a 1 versus 3 in kills. Mopsio is so low. Can Salas maybe take him out? Can Blood Dragon do it? Oh no, nobody dying. No, they don't even get Diablo. What the hell? They get Vala though. Diablo, another shield. Blood Dragon. Oh my god, I cannot believe that. Diablo survives and Guccio does. Dignitas must be so frustrated. If they get a few more kills in there, then it's all good in the hood. But as it happens, oh, not even the mines. I mean, even those could have taken somebody out there. It was so damn close, but no, once again, Dignitas is getting wiped here. And it's all Gary's fault, let's be honest. I mean, Gary is right here and attacks the boss. I mean, buddy, they are all to the right. You have to attack the opponent's team, not the boss. Gary the Gargantuan once again screwing things up. Chris is rushing in, but he is too late. He uses the slam, but it does not help. 19 versus nearly 20. They have to deal with the boss right now. Dignitas with the plays, with actually like great moves, but then in the end it was Aurora just keeping Diablo and Tacita alive. You never really knew who to attack there. Absolutely crazy. That was really, really crazy there. It was always such a juicy target to the left, another one to the right. You just think you can kill one of them, you move around, you try to go for the next one. It's so damn close, and they're not able to make it happen here. Gary is back to action, and this time he is once again just like attacking the creep. For some reason this guy just, like, he's a little bit like that teenager that always does the opposite of what mommy tells him. So every time you want him to attack something, he just like screws around, and that's exactly what we're seeing him do here. In that last fight, I mean, he could have changed things and it didn't happen. The keep is still not down though, so the boss is of course being demolished right now. Another one is pushing in the top lane, and this is the one with which they want to end the game. They have level 20, they have Nexus Frenzy on Vala, they have Storm Shield on Tyrande. We're having also Bolt of the Storm, Twilight Arcan and Divine Hurricane. The keep is gonna fall. You cannot prevent that keep from falling. The only question here is, will you get the 20? Will you be able to save that core? The stun, oh, and they're getting the ult in on Diablo. Chris is moving away and he actually survives. That was the important part. Him surviving. Alistar is low. The boss is still there. They have to deal with him. Gary doing some work, but Gary is already dead. The cooldown is not too high, but it's still going to take a bit longer for them. Opsio is about to die. They just want to finish the game. They're going for the core. It might be enough. It should be enough. Diablo is dead, but they're just right-clicking it, and Team Aurora finishes the game. GG, Cursed Hollow. It is Aurora, and they advance over Team Dignitas. Congratulations.
Dignitas doing a great job here on the map, but then again, it is Aurora. They are able to win the game. Very good performance by them actually here, and especially in the late game, you've really seen their strength. So they are able to win the match. For Dignitas, it is of course a bit of a setback, but the team did well here, but at the end of the day, it was still their opponent who took the match. So congratulations to Team Aurora for a great game here on Cursed Hollow. Hope that you guys enjoyed the match. If you did, then give it a thumbs up on YouTube, and I'm going to see you guys next time for more Heroes of the Storm on the channel. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye.